Okay, my name's Derek. I work at Posh Detailing. This is my 2014 Scion FRS. So I bought it brand new in 2014. Plan-wise, I planned on going turbo, but definitely not to this extent. It was asphalt gray when I first bought it. Yeah, and it definitely snowballed.
All right, guys, welcome back to Alberta. We're in Edmonton, Alberta, where the roads are a lot less busy, a little bit less traffic over here. We've met up with Derek. This is Derek's 2014 Toyota 86, but it's not any 86. This, and I did not realize, when we come traveling like this and we come to a different province, I don't know the car. I haven't seen the car around, and so this is my first time seeing the car today. This is the most complete and probably well put together 86/BRZ that I've ever seen and that we've ever filmed, Okay, so to begin with, revs to about 7,000 RPM. It's got a Garrett GTX turbo under the hood, which, coming from an MR2 turbo community, I used to have an MR2 turbo. A lot of guys would put the Disco Potato or the Garrett GT 2871R on those engines, and those would be good for 3 to 350 wheel horsepower. And a lot of people towards the end of that generation turbo technology were complaining about lag, but here it has absolutely been fixed. You never know. You never know out here in Alberta whether you're gonna get a paved road or a dirt road. It's like a 50-50 shot. It's kind of fun, but it makes the modified car world a little bit more challenging. You almost need like a safari build, quite honestly. You almost need like an Alex Troy Lamborghini or something to that effect.
The biggest thing, it's still stock block and all that, so it's not crazy power, but that'll get sorted out eventually. It's got a one-off JDL low mount V-mount kit, so it's a Garrett GTX 2867 Gen 2. Right now it's probably around 300 wheel. It's a lot of fun though. Everything's custom. So basically I had a bolt-on kit initially, blew up the stock motor, the stock motor, and then decided to kind of go crazy from there. I had this sourced out for the turbo kit, locally had all the piping and all the intercooler setup made. Basically everything bolted onto the engine's aftermarket, just the internals themselves aren't. So the intake manifold's all been shaved, powder coated, a whole bunch of stuff, big injectors, big fuel pump, oil cooler.
There is so much to go over in this car. First off, it sounds great. It is so refreshing to hear a turbo on an 86. This is how they are meant to be. But the V-mounted setup makes this car extremely unique. There are a number of custom parts on this car. Very droney, super droney. It's got a lot of drone. This is one thing I've noticed. It's just a side effect of turboing an 86 motor, an EJ, or an FA. What am I talking about? It's an FA20, but yeah, it's just a side effect of turboing a boxer motor. Now Derek's running a 265 wide tire setup all the way around, so it is a square stance setup, which kind of like Mustangs, you would think that with a lot of torque in the rear wheels, and especially with a car that only came with about 200 horsepower here factory, but now has a lot more, you would think a staggered setup would be good, would be more beneficial here, but it's not. 4,500, you really get the power kick. It's not what I would call comfortable, and it definitely errs more on the side of a track build, which I can appreciate. I can absolutely appreciate. We got a short shifter on here too. A bunch of little small parts, like Derek was telling me about his roadside flare. You know how I mean, maybe you don't know, but on right-hand drive vehicles, when you import them from Japan, they have a road flare. Most of them do.
So yeah, turbo kit's a one-off, the headlight intake's a one-off. Basically we dreamt that up in the garage, made it out of cardboard initially, sheet metal, had a local guy make it out of carbon. Same with the canards, that was the same thing.
What are your thoughts on, like we were talking about earlier, NA to turbo? What do you say to the guys who are like, it doesn't need a turbo and all that?
Like it's hard because like in some senses I get where they're coming from. Personally, I would never go back. I toyed with that a lot, even when I was initially planning out the build. And for me, turbo was definitely the way to go. I think for time attack, it's gonna be fantastic. Right now, it's peaking at like 15, which is kind of dicey on these engines, but we don't worry about that. That's a later problem. It's pretty hit or miss. I know some guys, especially E85, obviously is a huge buffer. The guy that e-tunes my car, he made like 580 wheel or something like that on his stock block, which is insanity. But like, he still hasn't blown it up as far as I know, and he bought it brand new in 2013 and beats the living crap out of it, and it still takes it somehow. But then you've got guys that pop them stock. So like, there's not really like a safe, I don't know. Everybody usually assumes around 300 wheel is like the safe-ish zone.
Oh, he's even got the e-brake button. Okay, maybe Derek wasn't telling me about his pro drifting career. His future pro drifting career. He's prepared for it. Derek's already done most things. He's done aero. This is not just a show car build. In fact, I'm incredibly surprised there's been no rubbing or anything. No scraping, no rubbing, no nothing. This isn't a parts bin build. This isn't just a parts list that's been tossed on a car. As we have seen, you know, we're getting tired of this, you guys. I think we all are. I think we're tired of just seeing parts tossed on a car and it being called a build. A build involves collaboration. A build involves trial and error and build and rebuild and make better. If you really like a car enough, you're gonna go that extra length to one, make it your own, and two, make it like a really good driving car. These roads honestly aren't that bad. These are probably the best roads that I've found in Alberta so far, around Edmonton for sure. Totally residential. Like, totally not the roads we should be ripping, but oh yeah. I'll slow down for the neighbors here. Slow down for the dogs. Hello.
And then yeah, aside from that, we just wrapped the car with an Ozatec Super Gloss red metallic. It was way too many hours put into it, inside and out, all the jams, the underside of the hood, everything's all done too. So that was a pretty big change for me. So yeah, like as we were talking about earlier, the mirrors are kind of the last thing you think about on the exterior of the car. So that was a really cool one for me. And these stood out as soon as I saw them. They're made by EVS Tuning. I saw them on Dai Yoshihara's Pikes Peak car, and I needed them. Yeah. So it's a full APR carbon lip kit and the Veris Engineering rear diffuser. I've got STI brakes on it. I've got some brand new Fortunato Gen 7 Fortunato 500s. Yeah, I actually just put those in like 2 weeks ago. I upgraded from some older ones, but they ride so nice. Yeah, and they handle fantastic too. Aside from that, all the arms are done in the rear. Voodoo 13, like LCAs, tow arms, trailing arms, everything. Drive shaft shop 600 axles, drive shaft shop aluminum drive shaft as well. There's not much that hasn't been touched. And then yeah, super nerdy one that I thought was pretty cool. So because of the V-mount, I don't have the OEM latch obviously anymore. So what I did was I found a JDM parts site, ordered an OEM right-hand drive kick panel. So it deleted the latch, but I've got a flare instead.
Oh. Whoa.
Right?
The first left-hand drive car I've ever seen with a flare.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I ordered it in hopes of just deleting the latch, and I didn't even think about the flare. And then it showed up, I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So yeah, no, I was pretty stoked about that. So with Posh, we, like I said, cater to luxury and exotics. We do a lot of detailing, wrapping, tinting, all that kind of jazz. We're super active on Instagram, YouTube. Everything's just at Posh Detailing. It's super straightforward. A lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, Derek.
no worries. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for having us out here in Edmonton, Alberta. Honestly, I really appreciate it. I'm an outsider here, coming in from BC. But also, FA20, yeah, we have FA20 embroidered jet tags on our store too, and we have a bunch of other engine code jet tag designs if you want to check them out. It is what it is. Go hit up Derek on Instagram too if you want to follow any future progress with this build. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit me up on Instagram at Roads Untraveled, and you can kind of see what we're shooting on a day-to-day basis and what we've got coming up. And we'll see you soon. Oh, also, so weird. Derek was actually at Tokyo Auto Salon the same time that I was. And there were a lot of other people locally, even in BC, that were there right in January 2020 before COVID hit that I was not expecting. And we all just kind of apparently just showed up that month, which is, I mean, that was the last regular Tokyo Auto Salon. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Derek's a cool guy and definitely a Japanese car fanatic as we are here too.